Hello, my friends. Welcome to another 4 Minutes on Friday. Today, I wanted to talk about our history and how messy it is. And I'm not really even talking about a particular part of history, American history or sports history, or even yours and my personal history. I was talking about a sense of the messiness of our history. There have been a lot of efforts to erase different parts of history. And I think we have to be careful with that. One, I think to sanitize history is a dangerous practice because I do believe in the cliche that says if we don't learn from our history, we are doomed to repeat it. So if we clean out all of the dirty parts of it, we're in trouble. We are in danger of repeating some of those same mistakes. Probably the best example of this, here we are in the early throes of baseball season, and I think baseball is probably a very good example of a history that should not be sanitized. Every year there is the conversation about the Baseball Hall of Fame and players who have broken rules. Should they be allowed into the Hall of Fame? And of course, there's a ton of opinions, and this might get a lot of comments to this end. But my opinion would be this: that let's own the messy, dirty parts of our history. If that means, in particular for the Baseball Hall of Fame, if there needs to be a plaque next to each one of those individuals who it was very clear that they broke the rules, whether they admitted it or not, but they had records that have their names attached to them, then let's own that. Let's make sure we acknowledge that was a real part of history, because I saw those home runs be hit. I did. That was a reality. And whether or not we want to acknowledge that, I think, is a really important conversation. And again, this ends up tripping into our own lives. If our own lives are filled with our continual desire to sanitize our history and our past, I think we tread a very dangerous path. So just in a very general kind of overly simplistic sense, do not be afraid to own the messy parts of your own history. And again, as a Christian, as a Christ follower, I have to be willing at some point to own my history, my past, not because I have redeemed or recovered myself, but because I believe that God has done something very significant in my life. And he has brought me out of a past that had death attached to it, that had loss, that had no future. So I would just encourage you this morning, or today, or this weekend, whenever you watch this, don't be afraid of your past. As a believer in God, I believe that God is a redeemer of the past in spectacular, marvelous ways. Don't try and whitewash it. Don't try and hide it. Own it. Own the past. There are better things that can come out of our broken history than a covered up and hidden away history. All right. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday.